In problems 1 through 10, we're given this Venn diagram, and our categories are hardback books, fiction books, and children's books. And in the problems, we're asked to find how many are in certain categories. So let's get started. Problem number 1 asks us how many books are hardback fiction. So what we want to know is hardback and fiction, right? As I read through the problem, it says hardback fiction. Well, I'm going to write that as hardback and fiction. So we're looking for the intersection between hardbacks and fiction, and I think it's right here. So I'm going to write this as 6 plus 5, saying that there are 11 hardback fiction books. Now, the second problem says, how many are paperback fiction? So paperback fiction means that they are not hardback, so they have to be outside of hardback, but still fiction. So I think we could write this like this. How many are paperback? That means outside of hardback and yet still fiction. So outside of hardback and fiction looks like this group right here. So I'm thinking that this is going to be 15 plus 20, giving us 35 paperback fiction books. Problem number 3 asks us how many books are fiction. So fiction's all here. Now some of them are going to be hardback, some are going to be children, but let's just count up the number in the fiction categories. So this is going to give us a 6 plus 5 plus 15 plus 20, and the order doesn't matter, right? We can take any order. We just want to count them all up in that group. So what we're going to get here is 5 and 15 is 20, 20 and 20 is 40, and another 6 is 46. So we're going to get 46 in the fiction category. Now, problem number 4 asks us how many of these books are non-fiction. So non-fiction, this is going to be all the books that are, let's say, outside of fiction. So we're looking for everything that's outside of this set, everything outside of here. So let's count those up. So this is going to equal, now all I have to do is start counting here and out here. So the order doesn't matter. So maybe we'll get 19 plus 10 plus 11 plus the 14. 19 and 10 is 29. 29 and 11 is 40. And 14 more is 54. So 54 nonfiction books. Problem number 5 asks us how many books are paperback nonfiction children's. So what we're looking for are paperback. Now paperback is outside of hardback. So let's write this like this. This is going to be the number that are not hardback and not fiction and children. So does that make sense? Paperback is going to be not hardback. Nonfiction has to be an and because they have to be both. Nonfiction is going to be outside of fiction. Children's books. So and children's. So let's count them up. Outside of hardback, all of these. Also outside of fiction, that's got to be all of these, and in children's. So I think we're just looking at this 11 right here. So let's say that this is equal to 11. Let's just be sure. Does that make sense? So we have to be outside of H, outside of F, right? Outside of H, outside of F, but still in C. So we're right there. Now, problem number 6 asks us how many of these books are adult hardback fiction. So the adult means that it's non-children, so it has to be outside of children, but still hardback. So here's where we're going to be. We're going to be outside of children and in hardback and in fiction. So here's where we have to be. We have to be outside of children. That puts us up here, right? This is outside of children, even out here. But we have to be in hardback, so in hardback is going to be here, but we also have to be in fiction, so we have to be in here. So I think it's just this 6 right here. This 6 is outside of C, it's in H, and it's in F. So I think we're just going to conclude that we've got 6 books that meet that condition. In problem number 7, we want to know how many of these books are either, now in either, that's going to be an or, hardback or fiction. So we're looking for the number that are hardback or fiction. So let's count. What we have to be is in hardback or in fiction or possibly both. So let's count these. I'll just start right here and run through each one. So it's going to be, what we'll get here is 19 plus 6 plus 5 plus 10, right? The 19, the 6, the 5, the 10. But also, we need this 20 and that 15. Plus 20 plus 15. And when I add those up, I get 75.